What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is July 14th of 2019. Well, folks, I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are, and in today's video, I want to spend some time to do a very simple update talking about the current state of the market, talking about what we've been seeing in Bitcoin and altcoins, and where I think we're going over the next few days, and then also talking about the greater cycle and how, even though a lot of people are fighting right now with the recent sell-off, how a lot of different catalysts could carry the market forward very soon. So we've got lots of things to discuss, guys. Let's not push it off any longer right after our quick sponsor. Alrighty, everyone, so let's go ahead and start off by taking a quick look over the market. As we can see here in the last 24 hours, most cryptocurrencies are in the red with a decent amount in double-digit territory, and some of these are ones that have been leading the market. For example, like Raven Coin, which had a really nice bump up the other day and is finally starting to look like it might be getting some traction. Again, we're getting into a period where the risk to reward profile is really nice for a lot of altcoins out there, and we'll talk about that as we go throughout the video. Again, I don't know if we're at the full-scale altcoin cycle yet or if we're ready for that. But I do want to let you all know, seeing as we are getting towards that period of time, I am actually going to have a video in the next few days that is going to talk about my top 10 altcoins going into 2020. Now, of course, you might get interested in them in 2019. There might be some opportunity to get them in 2019. But I think that the broader cycle for this market, when we get back to previous Bitcoin all-time highs and break through and go to higher levels, is going to be sometime in 2020. So that's why it's titled that. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about 10 coins, and it's not only going to be, I'm not only going to mention which ones I'm invested in, guys, but also I'll mention why I like them fundamentally and also on a technical aspect as well. It's going to be a really nice in-depth 20 to 30 minute video. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but I'd recommend you guys stick around because it's going to be jam-packed full of really interesting information. All right, so I've rambled on enough. Let's go ahead and get into the relevant news. We can see from the the relative high here in regards to market capitalization for the year. We've gone from 373 billion down to today's valuation of 292 billion. So nice, decent correction off of, what we'd really seen in the later phase of the parabolic cycle. And it now looks like we're re-entering to a territory that we saw back here in the later part of May, as well as the early part of June, which is around, anywhere from 270 billion down here to 250 billion. So I think we could get this, and I'll explain why as we take a look at not only Bitcoin, but also to the market capitalization for altcoins specifically, which we'll take a look at on TradingView. We can see here Bitcoin dominance rising up steady here up to 65%. And again, as we talked about, I think it was in the previous video, the idea that we might be able to get up basically to what was the support level for Bitcoin dominance back here before the real breakout in 2017 for altcoins. Now, again, this number is going to be a little bit different than the chart I displayed because it excluded the market cap of altcoins, which gave us a much clearer picture of market dominance in the sense of actual cryptocurrencies. And again, we're actually not far away from that level. It's just a few percentage points until we reach what was previously support. And as we know, that previous support tends to be new resistance. That's at least the common trend in not only crypto markets, but most markets across the world. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this, guys. Now, as I mentioned, again, I know some people as well are like, Nick, are you using any kind of indicators, using any kind of advanced TA? I'm really not, because in this market, guys, as much as I love trading cryptocurrencies, I do swing trading, and I basically go off of basically percentage decline and gains in the past, and I basically try to trade cycles. I'm not actually trying to do any advanced trading in the short term. I'm not going to use 1,000 different indicators. That's just my style. I mostly do naked trading, and that's usually looking for support and resistance. So just want to make that very clear, guys. If you want to take a more complicated route to it, that's fine. For me, I'm basically doing what I talked about in my video called How to Simplify Bitcoin Investing. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend you guys watch it, because basically all I'm looking to do is trade for the broader cycle. I know that myself, as well as many others, are probably just better off in regards to trading Bitcoin by simply investing in it. They're just simply riding the cycles. We wait for the 80% correction, which we got down to 3,000, and now we're on the exit out of the consolidation period up to the previous highs and then eventually breaking out to new all-time highs, and then we're going to possibly pull a 3 to 5x rally to $60,000 or $100,000. That's what's in my mindset. That's what I'm investing for, and I want to catch that trend because it's much easier to predict and much easier to ride out. I know I've got the hands for it. So let's go ahead and talk about what this chart displays here. What I'm basically saying, and when I have these two lines here, as I talked about in previous episodes, is that these were periods where I'd start to feel comfortable averaging in. If price, for example, started to come up very quickly and we continued the parabolic rally past 12,800, I would start averaging in. And down here as well, around 10,800. If we were to break below this level or hit this level specifically, I'm going to start averaging in if I have cash. Now, at the moment, I'm still waiting for some of my deposits to go into some of my exchange accounts. So right now, I haven't been able to actually make the official trade on it just yet. I did actually average down on some of my altcoin positions the other day, but as of now, I haven't been able to average into any Bitcoin right now. That's my next objective. And I'm looking to add anywhere between not only, the previous low ranges that we've seen here. Obviously we've broken down a level where I'm already comfortable for it, but I'm also definitely curious if I can get it down at the upper $9,000 range, or maybe set a third low. Again, not directly in line with the previous two lows, because I think that would, at this day frame, it would basically set us down here at 8,000. I'll show you what I mean by that. If we were to draw a line down here, some people believe we'd go down to 7,000. And to be fair, guys, I do believe we're going to have another day or two of correction. Breaching this support level here is pretty significant. And again, I think we can easily come back down to test previous support down here at a minimum. Not to mention as well, 9,000 would be a good target because over here it was acting as resistance. We made it support. Would be good to test it again. I'm not getting too greedy on this, guys. I want to make it very clear. If you look across TradingView right now, the windows here are only showing on the side here. If you look at most of the people on TradingView, and some people that I even admire in the sense of TA, a lot of them are calling for an absolutely big sell-off down to $7,000, $8,000, and they're having really low price targets, and they think it's going to be a 45% correction or something like that. Folks, I turn towards history here, and I know that between a 30 to 40% correction is usually a buy on the exiting of the accumulation phase for Bitcoin. All right, I'm not going to get too greedy. Look, I can wait around a little bit. I'll spend a little bit extra. I want to make sure that I secure my positions, because you do not want to try to be greedy over 3 or 5% dip that you might not get, and then eventually you miss out buying on the rally, or you're going to have to buy at a much higher level. So that's my main philosophy here, is don't try to overcomplicate it. Don't get too greedy. This market is going to multiply much higher if you do believe in the longer term cycle, and if it does come to fruition as that, right? Again, I can't guarantee it, but I do believe that this market has got a lot of room to scale. If we take a look at store value markets like gold, that's $7 trillion. Bitcoin's at less than 200 billion. Actually, we should check the current market cap just to put some scale in mind. 190 billion at the moment. I think there's some room to grow. That's just me. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and we'll dive into some of the news here. And this also kind of plays into the topic that I will talk about in my altcoin video, and also what I think we need to look forward to. So this is an article on Ethereum World News that talked about smart money will soon diversify for 50, 100x altcoin gains. Now, I would deduce that number or reduce it down from 50 to 100x to 10 to 20x. I think that's going to be much more realistic. It depends if you're talking comparative to Bitcoin. Now, maybe not comparative to Bitcoin. Yeah, we're going to probably have some 30, 50 X's in this market. As we start to really turn Bitcoin into a $1 trillion asset, a multi-trillion-dollar asset over the next cycle, I think we could easily see that. But keeping our expectations a little more conservative, we do still have some pretty ambitious goals here, which is that this market is going to multiply over and over in regards to some of the valuations of not only Bitcoin, but also altcoins. Now, and a lot of this is based off comments off of Reddit, really, and they're just talking about the smart people will start diversifying into lower price tokens such as ETH, VeChain, Ken, XRP, and Link, all strong buys in the end. Now, I'm not really going to stand in defense of a lot of these. I will say that some of these, as I'll talk about in I do have some picks, for example, in the altcoin space that I am excited about. But the thing is, at the end of the day, guys, it's probably not going to be a 50 to 100x. And along with that, if we actually take a look at total market cap, I think we've just got a few more days of correction. What we're really going to do is come down to a very clear support range that we have here from August to November, as well as a resistance range here in April. and that's going to be at $80 billion. I think that would be good. It's not only a decent scale correction, but we can actually get the percentage mark here. If we take a look from the top downward, this would take us down 42% in all CoinMarketCal. That would be really healthy to see, and it would line up with the general uptrend line for altcoins here. So I think once you get a rebound off there, there could be some serious movers in altcoins. So I'll try to get my video out for that time frame over the next few days. I'm just, again, trying to make sure the research is there for you guys so you enjoy it and really get a lot out of it. And again, as always, it's not going to be financial advice. You guys have to go through. I'll provide a lot of resources in the description for white papers, for blogs and resources, as well as the websites for the project. All right. So now one thing I want to talk about as a catalyst here, again, as we talk about Bitcoin moving more parabolic and not getting greedy on waiting for the 45 or 50% correction marks, the major thing that I wanted to focus on here is, as the recent, I know I did a video talking about Trump and Fed Chairman Jay Powell and Mark Cuban, all these figures talking about cryptocurrencies from Bitcoin to Libra. And I want to press the fact that even though this article is given some kind of price figure, it's going to push, this one thing is going to push Bitcoin to 40,000. Yeah, I don't think so. But it is a part in the greater storm here that is proving that this market is not slowing down. It's not going to have, I think, a year of sideways price action or waiting for things to happen. No, when you start seeing the President of the United States, when you see the Fed Chairman Powell calling it a speculative store of value, this is very serious, guys. It's significant. And this means that there's going to be two things happening. A, the media is going to start talking about it again. It already has started doing that with Libra and also as well, you know, covering the president and all kinds of people making statements around cryptocurrencies as the prices started to come back up. The higher the price goes, the more media is going to cover around it. And the other thing as well to talk about is that as we go throughout this market right now, guys, you're going to see more and more investors become aware that this is not a bubble. It would be a bubble if we would have crashed down to $0 after going to 20K, but we didn't. And we're pretty much back up towards the range of the last month of price action where Bitcoin hit its all-time highs. So again, you know, this is going to start getting people realizing, oh my God, this is not going away. This is an emerging store of value. We need to find any way we can get access to this, whether it be Bitcoin futures, which are right around the corner, maybe a Bitcoin ETF, maybe it's through a hedge fund that can go out and actually directly buy the Bitcoin on spot or OTC, whatever it is. The demand is starting to come in. And we already know that there is already a supply squeeze right now in the market. So again, this is just a reiteration, guys. I'm going to beat it like a dead horse. It's why we cannot get greedy in this market. It's at least why I'm not personally. I'm averaging in. I've been doing well as of doing that, even though I got into averaging in a little bit later in the cycle, right? You know, I definitely was not so much a bear, but I was, thinking we needed corrections before we would continue to claim a lot of these highs that we had. And it turns out we really didn't, right? So again, wanted to emphasize, I had this photo up. I thought I was going to mention it later. Yep, altcoin cycle video coming up soon, guys. Stay tuned for that if you guys would like to see it. If you guys aren't already, definitely subscribe, hit the bell icon. Just want to recommend that to you guys so you don't miss a video, and we'll be talking about that here in the next few days. Now, one thing to also talk about and building this topic as well of people continuing to discuss cryptocurrencies as it becomes more and more of a relevant topic. Google, Apple, Amazon, and Facebook are set to face off against Congress this week, testifying to Congress. So basically, there's going to be a hearing here on the whole aspect of the antitrust going on. Again, a lot of people are curious about the, challenging the power that these tech companies have. But along with that, one of the topics that will be discussed will be the Libra cryptocurrency. Now, again, the general topic, seeing as we're taking all of these topics, these companies into account, is going to be holding Silicon Valley accountable, asking them, how do they, conduct certain operations? How do they manage user data? Are they censoring anything? This is really what it's all about at the end of the day. But I do think that, as we've seen with the stark reaction, Facebook is going to be one of the major icons of this discussion. It's going to be through talking about Libra and its current status and whether or not it wants to be compliant with governments. Now, I have no doubt Facebook is going to do that, but I think they're going to extensively lobby to get past a lot of the crap they're going to have to deal with, because right now we can see that the powers of the financial space are still outweighing that of the tech sector in Washington, whether it's that they have more money or resources, or that they are not convinced or they're feared in the sense that there's a challenging currency against the US dollar that might be used for commerce and also international wire transfer. So that's really interesting to see. We'll have to learn more about it. Again, if you guys want to find more information, because you guys can look into it more, but I'll read the first 2 paragraphs here. So the tech giants will once again be in the congressional hot seat this week, facing 2 hearings on the antitrust and Facebook's Libra currency. In each case, though, the real question they'll confront is whether the U.S. government should amp up its efforts to regulate them. Again, this is a question of whether or not they're utilities and something that the government should regulate in the sense of protecting free speech, making sure that things like shadow banning and censorship can't be prevalent at a lot of social media applications, and also to make sure that there's some oversight on data protection, similar to what we saw with GDPR. And I'll be fair, guys, on a moral level, yeah, I'd like to see stuff like that, but I really don't trust the government to do it. And the reason why is I've looked at congressional congressional hearings where they've had people come and speak in front of Congress multiple times in the past, from Mark Zuckerberg to, and I think they had the Google CEO as well. It's absolutely pitiful. It is. They just don't know. They don't understand tech. They're people aging from the range of 50 to 70. How do you expect them to know tech, right? So anyways, the hearings held on Capitol Hill have academic titles like Online Platforms and Market Power, Part 2, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. That one, scheduled for Tuesday with the House Committee on the Judiciary, is to discuss antitrust issues with representatives from Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google. The Senate Banking Committee will meanwhile hold a hearing called Examining Facebook Proposed Digital Currency and Data Privacy Considerations to discuss the social network's Libra currency that the company hopes will change the way we make everyday purchases. So again, this is a huge topic, and you can see just how quickly, how slow things move in government, how quickly they were able to pull these tech executives to come over and say, hey, we need to have a chat. Does anyone notice how quick that happened? So anyways, again, I understand this antitrust discussion has been around for a few weeks, but this stuff usually doesn't move this quick. So it's very interesting to see. Now, on some positive news for cryptocurrencies, Thailand, which has been on the forefront of positive crypto support and regulation, has approved 4 new cryptocurrency service providers, one of which is a new exchange in Thailand, one of many in the Southeast Asia region. But along with that as well, they've also got 3 new portals to conduct capital raising in the crypto space. New ICO, generally known as ICO portals in this case, if they wanted to do ICOs. But I really am excited to see this because I think there needs to be more democratization of finance in Thailand. It's an area that, again, is a budding economy in Asia. It's a beautiful place. People there are so nice. I know a lot of people who are native to the land of Thailand and people as well who are digital nomads there. It's a lovely place to go visit. It's really cool. It's very humid, though. I just wanted to put that out there. So again, we can't have the crypto markets heating up too much because that would be a little too much for Thailand. But nonetheless, guys, outside of my cheesy humor, I think this is a really interesting spot to watch. We know Malta's a hot spot. We know Japan as well has been a big spot for merchant adoption of cryptocurrencies. We know that South Korea is big with digital tokens. I'd say to keep an eye on Thailand. There's some really interesting developments from the more nomadic regions like Chiang Mai, as well as the budding city of 8 million people that is Bangkok in Thailand. So again, I think they're really pushing the lever forward on this. A lot of the regulators have been pro crypto, and a lot of these areas in Southeast Asia that have a lot of unbanked individuals or have unstable currencies are definitely going to be open to something like cryptocurrencies, I believe, especially as we start to see, the continued competition against central banks and other forces. So I'd like to know what you all think about this. Do you guys think that the crypto correction is going to continue? Are you guys excited for the altcoin video? And also, what else would you guys like to see here on the channel? I know I haven't gotten around to asking that a lot from you guys. I would love for those you seeing us, if you're seeing this, you probably stuck around towards the end of the video, which I always appreciate. If you guys could, leave a comment down below what you'd like to see. I was thinking about making a few different useful videos. I'm not only doing my altcoin cycle video. Down the road, I will do an exchange video talking about what exchanges I want to use outside of Binance. But also a third one I thought about using is talking about the Brave browser. I know many people out there, like myself, many of you out there, use the Brave browser, and I wanted to share with other people not only to spread awareness, but also how to earn some, I hate using the term passive income, but it is truly passive income for just browsing the web as you get back tokens and being able to support content creators like myself, or basically just staking it out and holding it for the long term. Again, I would love to know what you guys think about it down in the comments down below. If you think about something else, feel free to let me know. But I hope you are having a fantastic weekend. There's more to come in the coming days, so stay tuned, and I'll see you all in the next video.